Have you ever met someone who thought they were untouchable? Someone who thought they could hurt another person and just walk away? Because when this guy shoved my friend to the ground, he thought the story was over. What he didn't know was that I worked inside his college's administration office, and by the end of the week, his entire academic life quietly disappeared. If you've ever wished karma would move faster. If you've ever wanted to see someone face consequences without throwing a single punch. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and buckle up, because this revenge was silent, surgical, and absolutely devastating. This happened years ago, back when the internet still felt like the Wild West, not polished, not automated, and definitely not protected the way it is now. I was a student at my local junior college, nothing fancy. Just trying to get through classes, work part-time, and build a future that felt vaguely stable. Around that time, my girlfriend, let's call her Lucy, and I decided to move in together. Rent was cheaper. Life felt simpler. We were young, optimistic, and convinced we had everything figured out. One night, Lucy tells me she's inviting a friend from one of her classes over for a game night. Sure, I said. The more, the merrier. That night went great. Laughter. Board games, pizza boxes stacked on the counter. The kind of night where time slips away without you noticing. That's when I realized something strange. Her friend, Sarah, was someone I recognized from high school. We weren't close back then. But we knew each other, shared classes, shared jokes, no bad blood, just familiarity. After that, Sarah started coming over more often. Dinners, movie nights, game nights. She fit in easily, too easily. Eventually, she brought her boyfriend. We'll call him Jay, and Jay was off. He never talked much, never laughed at the jokes, never joined the games. He'd sit there with his arms crossed, jaw tight, eyes scanning the room like he was looking for something to be angry about. Like he didn't want to be there, like we were inconveniencing him by existing. We tolerated it for Sarah's sake, but even then, something about him set my teeth on edge. He only came over a handful of times before he stopped altogether. At first, we thought nothing of it. Then one night, everything changed. It was late. The phone rang. Lucy answered and immediately went quiet, her face drained of color. She mouthed one word to me, Sarah. Lucy put the phone on speaker. Sarah was crying, not quiet crying, the kind where your breath catches and words come out broken. She asked if she could come over. We didn't hesitate. When Sarah arrived, she looked smaller, like someone had scooped the confidence right out of her chest. Between sobs, she told us what happened. Jay had been furious about how often she came to our place, accused her of cheating, with me. With Lucy, with someone, it didn't even matter who. He screamed at her, called her names that made my stomach twist just hearing them secondhand. Then when she tried to leave, he shoved her, hard. She tripped over the coffee table and slammed into the floor, huge bruise across her lower back and hip. She kept saying the same thing over and over. He didn't mean to. It was an accident. He's never done that before. But I could barely hear her, because my hands were clenched so tight my nails were digging into my palms. I've never been a violent person. I'm a big guy, but I've never thrown a punch in my life. Still, every instinct in me screamed to find Jay and beat the absolute hell out of him. But anger does funny things, instead of exploding outward. It sharpened, because here's the thing Jay didn't know. I worked in the college administration building as a student employee, and my job gave me access to student records, schedules, enrollment status, fees, and as I sat there listening to Sarah cry. A plan formed, not loud. Not messy, just precise. The academic ad drop deadline was coming up. The last day students could change schedules without penalty. Back then, enrollment wasn't online. It was handled through phones inside the admin office. Phones I had access to, I waited, and on the final day, I looked Jay up in the system, student ID, enrollment profile, visa status, and that's when I noticed something important. Jay was an international student, which meant if he wasn't enrolled in enough units, he couldn't legally stay in the country. My pulse didn't race, it slowed, one by one. I dropped every single one of his classes. Then I added him to every course I could find that had extra fees attached. Lab fees, materials fees, miscellaneous charges. At our school, if you owed money, you couldn't get transcripts, couldn't enroll, couldn't fix mistakes. And just like that, I hung up the phone, no dramatic music, no confession, no witnesses, just silence. Days later, Sarah told us something strange. She was nervous about seeing Jay again. They shared an English class on Tuesdays. When she walked in that morning, Jay was there, but something was wrong. Another student was standing, no seat available. The professor frowned, counted heads, checked the roster, and then, Jay, you're not enrolled in this class. Jay argued, insisted there was a mistake, but the roster didn't lie. Someone else had taken his seat. Sarah said Jay's face went red, then pale. He stormed out, and she never saw him in that class again. Weeks later, curiosity got the better of me. I checked the system. All the fee-heavy classes were gone, but he wasn't enrolled in anything else. I never confirmed what happened next, but I like to think. He had some very uncomfortable phone calls to make. Jay never confronted us. Never showed up again, never got closure. And that's the thing about silent revenge. There's no moment where they realize who did it. Only that something they took for granted vanished. No fists, no shouting, just consequences. Sarah was safe.